So it's been an interesting summer, to say the least. Let's talk about big corpo. Everyone's favorite. Capitalist companies. The platform that you are currently using. Big YouTube here. Has made a couple questionable moves recently. One thing I can name right now is the AI age verification thing, which honestly, they say it's to protect the kids. Protect the kids. Yeah. Say, what happened like 6-7 years ago with that Elsa Gate thing again? I don't know. It's back in my head. I don't know what happened there. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that it's not really about protecting kids. They use AI to verify your age. They are not the best. Some people have like different interests. Like a 22-year-old can have very childish interests, and like some like 14-year-olds can watch some very sort of quote unquote mature things, like commentary videos or your average Johnny Harris documentary about why China is about to fall in like 2 months. And I mean, like, some people say that, oh, they have your data already, dude. Like, you enter your credit card information, you enter your ID already when you're verifying your account, when you have to post videos. Yeah, but not everyone's post videos, not everyone uploads videos. Like, sure, probably like I'd say 30 or 40% of people do, but not everyone does. At least the US is better than what I'm experiencing right now in this shithole of a country. Let's talk about the United Kingdom, eh? So, I was in Hong Kong when this happened, when the Labour government, Keir Starmer, rolled out this new thing called the Online Safety Act. And what it basically does is it makes every single platform, website, anything that you name of, except for 4chan, because, well, 4chan does its own shit, pretty much, require users to show any form of verification, like ID, credit cards, or driving licenses, to prove that you are over 18 in order to view certain contents. Now, you might be thinking, well, that's normal, isn't it? That's, it's protect the kids. Yeah, it's protect the kids, eh? In some ways, yes. But you also have to think that 60 million people have to provide their ID in order to use daily live websites. Yeah, and if you don't watch anything 18 plus, then yeah, sure, you don't have to give it. But I'm sure most people use 18 plus content, and I'm not talking about like 18 plus only. I'm not talking about like gore or like pornography or all of that. There's this app called I Am Sober, which is basically an app to help people quit addictions, any addictions, which is like a very useful app if you think about it. It's very important. Not every people needs to be over 18 to have an addiction. I'm sure about that. You can have any type of addiction, like gaming addiction. You can have corn addictions. Not actually corn, but you know what I mean. You can have like any type of addictions. Sugar, like candy, chocolate. Any type of addiction is valid under 18. And this app basically helps people to quit an addiction, which is like a great thing, mind you. And that's being blocked right now because of this Online Safety Act. And the worst part of this is that websites also need you to prove that you're over 18 to use them. Which, yeah, if it's like YouTube, Amazon, Google, yeah, sure, they probably have your information already. But if there's some dodgy third-party website that has like zero security protocols, you can imagine there's a bit of a security issue over there already. One data breach over that website, and that could be easily done by like a semi-professional hacker or data breacher. You see how that could maybe cause some problems? Just saying. And this currently doesn't really affect me that much, since I don't really consume those kind of content, and if I do, I use a VPN, which is apparently illegal now. So welcome back, communist China. You can take the man out of China, but you can't take the China out of the man, I guess. One thing that does sort of affect me during these couple months is this other big corpo, Duolingo. This once all loved app. Guess what? It's not really all loved anymore, eh? Basically, they have sort of replaced like half of their workforce with AI. And I mean, I think AI can be useful, but I just don't think there's a valid reason to fire half of your workforce to replace it with AI. Especially if this concept of AI is still relatively new, and it could definitely have some problems with it, like incorrect information or just shittiness in general. But Duolingo over the years has been sort of like damaging the consumer base. It started with the heart system, which I think is necessary. If you make a mistake, you lose some health, and then if you lose all your health, you watch ads, and then those ads make Duolingo the money to provide for their users, which I think is like business. It's normal business. There's nothing wrong with that, because they remove hearts, they replaced it with fucking energy, which is like the shittiest shit ever, because even if you get that right, if you get a question right, you still get minus energy. So like it's basically like you get like 10 minutes of learning every day, probably less than that. And Duolingo is like, I use that app like every day pretty much. I have a 500-day streak on it, and quite frankly, I prioritize my education, because right now over like I guess morals. But then again, I just can't see myself funding this type of behavior from a company. It just feels wrong. So like it makes me need to buy Duolingo Super, which costs like fucking £4.99 a month or around that. And like the real thing is, the thing is, companies, big corpo, especially the big ones, they don't really care about like one guy boycotting the service, or like a multiple 100 people boycotting their services, because they don't lose that much money off of it. Yeah, they lose money, but it's not a huge amount to be like, oh, we need to change that then. And B, and I think that like this is just a rant in capitalism as a whole, is that these companies, they only care about one thing, and it's money. Now I'm pretty sure that's a reasonable thing to do. Everyone sort of cares about money these days. If you're not caring about money, then like, how are you gonna survive? But these new updates that they're doing, Duolingo's making record profit right now, so they're not gonna change it. They're not gonna change it, because they're getting money. They're making money from this. So why would they change it? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Unfortunately, that's like the reality we're living right now. And if their shareholders are happy with it, then they don't give a shit about the consumers, because they're making money. The shareholders are happy. Everyone's happy. Well, everyone important is happy. So they won't change shit. That's the unfortunate truth. And companies don't really have the bravery to roll out these changes, because they know like one fuck up and their whole company could be going in shambles. But if you have a monopoly over one sector, then you can just do whatever you want and fuck everyone else, and you don't have to care, because there's no other good alternative to your service. And that's the same thing with Duolingo and YouTube. They both have a absolute monopoly over their sectors, YouTube being like pretty much the only good video sharing site. Well, it is fucking shite, let's be real. And Duolingo having the sort of monopoly over language learning apps. And, there are also like other monopolies like Amazon, Google, or like pretty much any big corporation that you can think of. They have a monopoly over a certain sector. So if they change something that's very bad, and they can make a lot of profit from it, they're not gonna like lose people, because like that's their service is the only good one that is on the market, and there are no other good alternatives. So why would people choose to leave their service? Basically, if you're not like a rich billionaire, you have pretty much no chance of making a difference in big corpo. Speaking of big corpo and fucking people without consequences, there's this gaming platform that you might have heard of, might have not. It's not really that big. And Roblox. I'm pretty sure you have heard of drama news about Roblox this recent sort of week, actually. But basically, long story short, there's this guy called Shalep, which quite honestly is the most 2020 YouTuber name ever. Like, come on. And he basically catches predators on Roblox. If you're not sure what predators are, they're basically adults that like children, I guess. Yeah, no, it is that. And if you're 19, like an 18-year-old, maybe there's some leeway to it. Maybe I can see how maybe you're dating before you turn 18. But if you're like a 35-year-old with like a wife and 2 kids, and then you're going on Roblox to try to seduce a 13-year-old, and there's some bit of a problem with that, and that is exactly what Shalep does. He catches predators on Roblox, and Roblox is like a predominantly kids game website or game platform, so it is like a perfect platform to catch predators. And this problem has been known in Roblox for like, I want to say a decade now. It's been known for a long time. Roblox doesn't really care about it, because recently they have pretty much banned, I think, Shalep on Roblox, or at least given him a cease and desist letter. And the entire Roblox community is quite mad about it, and you can see why probably. This guy is basically doing God's work by discouraging and arresting pedophiles, which I think is a good thing. And if you don't think that's a good thing, might want to go visit your nearest police station and talk about that. I'm sure they'll do good. They'll good, they'll do good work of you. This thing has pretty much gone outside of Roblox, like media even. Like, I'm not a Roblox YouTube consumer. Yeah, I play on Roblox sometimes, but I'm not the type of guy to watch like Roblox YouTubers or anything like that. But even I've heard of it, and I mean, it is a big thing, to do that. Like, Shalep has actually released a video today, which inspired me this whole sort of commentary / rant. And it's a good video, you should check it out. Explains like half of the things probably. They've lost 12 billion. Roblox has lost 12 billion. Okay, billion with a B in market shares. And this hopefully will make them sort of change. Hopefully. Because again, there's only one thing. Actually, there's 2 things that big corpo companies care about. And it's money and their shareholders. Which also is money, I guess, if you think about it. And right now, they're making record loss, and they're also not pleasing their shareholders. So in turn, big change is coming. I can feel it. And I really hope so as well. Because Roblox really does need a change.